Hello, friend in the Dhamma. Good evening. This is from King's Bromley Temple in United States Kingdom, UK. Today is Saturday, the 17th July, 2564 or 2021. And I am here today for a friend in the Dhamma program, which is we normally have a broadcast from time to time with our venerable monks, Panya Vachiro and myself, เจ้าคุณพระราชวิเทพปัญญาคุณ or CK ปัญญาสิริ So I would like to invite our friends who normally um, in and out between England and Poland. Now today he is in England. So I would like to invite him here and then we chat and then okay. Good evening, Panya Vachiro.
Good evening, Ajahn Jakun.
How are you today?
Well, okay, a bit warm, I think, but there you go.
Well, today, thank you very much for accept my invitation, and I like to talk very briefly in the area we might like to discuss. What do you think we're supposed to discuss today, in your opinion?
You wanted to talk about the Buddha's ideas of success, didn't you?
Well, yes, that is very good point. I like to ask you because I know that you've been success in your life when you were at the lay, and also you got your two sons who are working very hard. That is very good to apply to the lady ordinary people in society, and at least you can give some advice on the people. And how you see the people nowadays in your walk of life before you become a monk, and how you feel all of this. If we can apply to the Dhamma, shall we?
Well, some psychological perspective, we talk about passion, patience,
Yes.
persistence,
Yes.
humility, and
Right.
morality,
Right.
and self-testing.
Okay.
And then one day I read the what is it called? Oh dear, Itipada.
Itipatha.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Itipatha.
Yes.
Well, Itipatha is mean Itipatha. I mean the success, isn't it? Success. Success of the.
And you know,
Itipatha, I mean, yeah.
I mean the words are different, but the definitions of our persistence and passion and whatever, they're identical.
They are
And
similar.
these are 3,000 years old, and we've got them now. If you go to a good university, I mean a very good university, you will be told that the best way of learning is this. We're going to call it easy words, self-testing, where you do a little bit of work and then you answer questions on that work, and you don't move forward until you can answer every question on that work. And you test yourself, self-testing, yeah. And you've got to really want to do it. You've got to be passionate. You've got to really, really want to do this, because these things are very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to have the patience to make mistakes and come back and have another go. And you've got to then be persistent and stick at it through thick and thin. You've got to keep going. You know, the Buddha tells you these same things. I have to write down the names in
Buddhist word. Okay.
In Pali, yes.
Well, first of all, I would like to explain briefly about this idea of the four bases of success in Buddhism.
That's the one.
Itipatha or Itibat. By saying this, because when I was young as a novice and learned in Buddhist study, if you are follow the Itipatha, which is there are four ways. We have the Pali language, Chanta, Vidya, Citta, Vimamsa. That is the word that I like to say to you. But I would like to look at the reality of without use the word Pali, but in the meaning of it. For example, iti is mean success or successfulness, which is very much like have four ways, you know, uh, four steps, which
He
is in the
called them
Pali language.
virtues.
Yes.
I remember
Well,
that.
yes, you see that the Itipatha Salas are the basis of success, or the path to achieving success. That's that Itipat in Buddhist in Buddhism. So Buddha's teaching is that Itipat. But I would like you to apply to your daily or your life as a lay person. When you were a lay and you've been success in your life for many years before become interested in Buddhism. So then use this kind of the Dhamma to apply to your life, to your family life or society life, and also suggest the people. That is my intention for talking to do, discussing with you today. Yeah.
I see. Well, I have taught many young people over the last, I don't know, 50, 60 years, and the vast majority are very successful.
Yes.
Yeah, very successful people. But that they have to learn that you really need to want to do something to succeed. You really need, we call it passion, but it's a real wanting to do this job. I want to do it. I want to be good at it. I intend to be good at it. Doesn't matter what happens. And it's, I mean, in the Buddha's terms, it's inspiration. It's the will to do it. Well, it's exactly the same. Passion, the will to do it. Without that, you're dead in the water. Working to the best of your ability. And even people who think that they aren't good enough, when they work constantly to the best of their ability, achieve things that could be quite surprising for everyone, including the people. Yeah. And so you have to have this sort of will, this goodwill, this inspiration, this passion to do things. And then the Buddha called that chanda, did he?
Chanda, yes.
Is that it? Yeah?
Yes, Chanta. Chanta is mean a wholesome aspiration and wish for success. In other words, you got very good intention. You love to do it. You like to be part of that.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
what it mean in that.
Well, it's the same. It's identical. This is why the Dhamma is so good when you look at it in detail.
Right.
So you've got this other one he called virya, effort.
Virya, yes.
Yeah, you've got to put the effort in. You've got to keep on going and doing it. Well, that's persistence.
Yes.
You know, if you go to Harvard, Cambridge, or Oxford, or Durham, or high-level universities, you A, don't get there without all of these things, and B, when you do get there, if you've got a good set of lecturers, they teach you these same things: passion, patience, persistence. It's exactly the same. Chanda, virya. The effort you've got to put into it. When you really work at something fully, you make a mistake, you got to stop. It hurts you. You want to cry sometimes. You've got to go back and do it again and again and again until you've learned it. And that's this exertion, this virya, this effort.
Right.
The one we don't talk about really is mindfulness.
Oh,
But
yes,
the Buddha did talk about mindfulness.
Well, the mindfulness, it's which part in mindfulness? Because it here is the Buddha talk about the citta. Citta, the total intensity.
Citta, yeah, that's it.
Yes, to the task at hand, which is citta.
Yeah.
Which it include the constant observation, watching, and preparation, and could be understood as the constant monitoring or the ongoing review of one conduct and performance. I mean, this is the part that we look at the Buddha teaching in detail, when we really want to know about our mind, if we let go or stay in as we are, in other words, never let you should be, or we should be able to to concentrate on what we are doing. That is citta mean.
Yes. Applying yourself again and again and again.
That's right.
It's what we mean in English by patience. You see, people, whenever you're learning something or doing a job of work that you haven't done before, you make mistakes. Everyone
Yes.
does.
Yes.
You can either run away from your mistakes and never achieve anything, or you can use your mistake as a learning tool. I've done it this way, it was wrong, I'm going to do it another way, but not that way. You learn from it and you apply yourself again and again and again. That's that jitta, that mindfulness that the Buddha talks about. It's exactly the same, different words, but it's exactly the same. And when we talk about self-testing, you won't learn or hear this in an ordinary university, Birmingham University, Wolverhampton. These universities don't teach like that.
No.
But if you go to the highest levels, they will recommend that this is what you do. This self-testing. And of course, that's what the Buddha's all about. Investigation, self-examination. Without the investigation, you can't ever get it right. So unless you keep answering the questions or redoing the job until it's done properly, time after time after time, you go nowhere. Or if you go anywhere, it's only, we call it mediocre. You can just about manage to do it. I don't know what he called that. Vimamsa?
Vimamsa, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it is Vimamsa, yeah. Vimamsa is we thinking over and consistent with the mindfulness and wisdom. Yeah, that is very important.
So if we do not succeed at first, we just keep on going back at it, and you do the sort of the making hard work. You just keep going and going and going. Well, that's exactly what we're taught. We go, we learn something, we think we've learned it, we answer questions on it, we find out we didn't learn it, so we have to go back over it again. We answer questions on it. Maybe we've learned it this time, maybe not. Go back over it again. That's how really successful people work. And this is what the Buddha's teaching.
And you see, when the people they success in their life, you mean they have to do it again and again, which is more or less that the teacher or the lecturer or the tutor have to put student, or the student have to do it by themselves.
Yeah.
How it works on two sides.
But oftentimes it's put down to people looking in. Oh, right. It's luck. You're lucky. No such thing as luck. You actually make your own luck.
Okay.
And the Buddha's telling you how in that one sermon.
Yes.
And I mean, it wasn't very long when I read it. It was just clean and concise. And another thing that brought me to the Dhamma.
Oh, you like the Dhamma because of that? Yeah?
I like it in detail. You all stop me when we go on to one of these, a clever sutta, but they're so clever and so accurate that they deserve to be looked at very carefully, one word at a time. And people get bored, I suppose, but I don't.
No, not at all. Because it's good for you to, as a monk in society, especially in English society, as you are British monk and English monk, and you, after many years, you've been working very hard in your area, your study, your working and everything, but you never came across in Buddhist study or Buddhist philosophy at all. So because of that, how it works? Like you are interested in the teaching by more or less an accidentally, isn't it? But it becomes so coherent, you can apply. It's so similar. with the way in which you have done in the past. So the Buddha teaching, it seems always with you without knowing it. Am I right?
It's very similar,
Yes.
except the Buddha did it first a long time ago,
Yeah.
and he gives you sometimes better reasons for doing things.
Right.
He can be, in my terms, he can be a bit flowery about it. He can make it feel nicer and comfortable,
Right.
and but he sees connections between things as well that you may not see in ordinary, we call it academia. You might not see it in the university. In fact, you probably won't see it. It's why I would like to be able to help young people in uni to see it the Buddha's way. Whether that'll ever happen or not is another matter. But if they were to see it the Buddha's way, do you know, I've got so many successful young people, even today. One, the girl that does our lawyer work, Sarah, she was with me when she was 11. She's now one top 100 solicitor. She does all sorts of things. We worked in just this way, year in, year out. And now we're doing it with her own daughter.
Right.
And you've got David, he's been on today, another one. You know, he was autistic. People thought he would go nowhere, but he's done it. I don't remember. There's been 3 or 4 on today, and everyone is a success.
Well,
And
put it this way.
it's the Buddha's way of doing things.
How
Almost always. I just can't explain it. When I read it first time round, I couldn't believe
put it
it.
this way, Panya Bachiro, I think this one thing I would like to ask about. As you've been involving with them when they were very young, and you use your what you can the technique or the teaching or whatever your skill to help them at that time, and then
Yeah.
you really realize is that you are your philosophy or your knowledge, your skill is very close to Buddhism, and now you see through all of this. Oh, I used this the teaching before, and now you aware of that. And at the time, how you use the Buddha teaching to help the people without knowing it, and also now you know. Say in the past, you're not at all involved in Buddhism. You're not at all understand about the Buddha teaching.
Nothing, no.
No, not at all. And then you help the children. Yeah, help the children.
Help people overcome problems.
How you get this kind of the philosophy to your head, or most of university, the very the top 10 university in the world use this kind of philosophy, and how they apply, how to pick up the philosophy in Buddhism to be in daily life. That can you explain briefly in this?
I don't honestly think that it's to do with the Buddha. When you talk about the people, it's to do with what is the most efficient way of being a success.
Right.
And they find out the most efficient way of being a success by talking between us until we come up with some good ideas. And then when I find the Buddha and the Dhamma, it's already in there. The best thing about the Dhamma is it's all written. You don't have to keep looking and discussing and messing around. It's there ready to be used. It's just that people don't use it. I mean, even Buddhist people, I don't see them using the Buddha's intelligence like they could. I don't see the young people becoming very successful. I mean, they might be successful. Don't get the wrong impression, but if they were to use the Buddha's Dhamma properly, I guarantee they would be very, very much more successful than they are. I mean, the first young man that I picked up, literally out of the gutter, he's 64 this year, and he's a millionaire. Lives in Harrow, big swimming pool, tennis courts, whatever. And there he was, a complete wreck when I first met him. And if you teach people properly, humility, not being too proud of yourself, not being too much ego and the like. In the real world, you've got to have some ego. You've got to have some stand up and be questioned and fight back. But it's too much of it is no good. And you need to be able to think about other people's feelings, other people's needs, as well as your own. And the more successful you are, the more you should be thinking about other people's needs. I like to think that what I do, and I've done for this last 7 or 8 years here, has been some small way of putting something back. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
Well,
but I still use the same techniques, and there they are, written donkeys years ago in the suttas. It's quite amazing, really.
Well, you see, Panyavachiro, you see, when I look at your experience, I look at your the people that you train them and help them, and without being involved or knowing about Buddhism at all at the time, and now many of them success in their direction of their business and their field. So because of that, when all you now involved heavily in Buddhism, first I used the word heavily because you are a monk and you studied Buddhism before, and now you get yourself to be in the in monastery system, which is very, very good. We are grateful that you managed to be in good shape of to behave yourself and practice like a Buddhist monk and do morning evening chanting with us. And now you think that is very good for us or for the Buddhist monks to help the people in society. So how can you use Buddhist philosophy, which is compare with what you learned in the past, you used in the past, and now to move on to the right direction for the children or for community in the future? Because without someone who have this kind of skill in the past and use the Buddha teaching now, and then sometimes we don't even know how to go about it, and is it the right path or not. So now I know that you were in the past use the Buddha teaching without knowing or anything similar, and then you success, and now you look at the Buddha teaching and then, oh, excellent, it is that what I'm doing now. So from now on, you see, this is Buddha teaching, this is the way we support the social community. We can use the Dhamma, encourage the people to follow the Buddha teaching and use the teaching apply to their life, especially for young generation, to help the people in society. How can be done, and how we can put everything in the right place? Yeah.
There's no easy answer, Ajahn. It's to me the only way of actually making Buddhism bigger and better in any country is first to speak the language, the local language. Second, to introduce Buddhist ideas to the children, the young people. Because let's face it, the old people are going to be dead.
I know that.
Well, it's no good. It's no good just pushing at the old all the time. So you've got to find ways of attracting the young people in. And to me, it means, forget COVID, will you? But to me, it means going into places where they learn, where young people congregate, schools, colleges, universities, scout groups, I don't know, wherever young people come together to introduce some of the ideas, maybe some of the ideas about meditation, just to calm people to start with. Some of the ideas that, I mean, I would be doing a sutta. I would be teaching things like this particular success formula, if you like, and showing them it works. I mean, if you show people that it works in a small way, they are more likely to try it in a bigger way. So I would be doing that. I would always be looking to the young getting the monks out into the schools and inviting the schools into the temples, so that the young at least have got the opportunity to say hello to the Buddha and to his Sangha. And I can't see any other way. I mean, we do the celebrations and we chanting all twice a day, every day. We do little lessons here and there. We do lots and lots of things actually,
Yeah.
but it rarely includes the young.
Right. Well, you talk about the young. I I appreciate that, but it's not that easy to
Oh, no. I know.
to put everything in the right place. It's not
Yeah.
that easy. And for example, when you got opportunity to teach the children, you have very short time. Say it's just say if the children visit the temple or the monks go visit the school in say most of the school they get to know the monks. Of course they don't fight with the monk because they feel the monk is comfortable and nice to talk to. But when come to very serious matter of leading the community or using the Buddhist teaching to help the people in the society, how it could be done, because in society they not practice the Dhamma, they not know the monks, just or the school. What about the idea of introduce ourselves to the public, such as like I go out many times and then I've been asked and approached this by somebody who like to know the monk life. So what about go for alms or to show in the village and anything like that? How
Well,
it
this is exactly right. You see, you're upping your profile. You're being on show more,
right
and people become used to seeing you.
right
As monks walking around, they don't treat you like freaks. They get used to seeing you, and anything which makes people used to you gives you whoops a daisy gives you the opportunity to introduce new ideas to them.
right
But slowly, you can't do it fast. It has to be done very, very slowly. People used to come to me because their parents knew my success rates,
right
whether it be your local doctor or someone from the university or whatever. It was always someone who knew of my success rates. So it's the same with the Buddhism, really. If we show ourselves so that we're known, and then some way or another show how we can help people be successful, happier. That'll do to start with.
Very good.
Calmer. That'll do to start with.
Well, if it is a case like that, Panyabachiro, you think it's good idea visit next on 20th of this month, Tuesday. I am going to talk about our work of the BUBDO, and we like to talk about how we can show ourselves in the public or to be seen by the public, which by say put it this way, if I would like to offer what about the services if you like, if I say to announce to each temple throughout the world, and then I look at our temple in England first, okay, and then after that each temple in each country, say my temple here, we live in Staffordshire. In Staffordshire, that we have quite a good connection with the people. I don't know how many people in say many of them in area like in Tamworth, in Lichfield, in Kingsbomley, and in Derby and Nottingham, or even to Hull. All of these, if I introduce, maybe say if I the Buddhist monks appear 1 day a week in Kingsbomley, for example. Say if one morning, say about 10 o'clock, we set up every month. So as I say, every Monday, for example, we walk every
Yes.
Monday on King's Bomley, and Tuesday we walk in Yorkshire, or the Thursday we walk in uh, Arivos, for example, and then we go to walk in another place like in the Thames. This kind of introducing this project to the people by send out the leaflet, say we are Buddhist monks, I would like them to know what we are doing. This is the Buddhist culture when the Buddha time. So the Buddha at that time when he was when achieved enlightenment, and that time, and after that he came to visit his father, and then he go for alms in the village, so that his father feel embarrassed that his son go for begging, but if it's not begging, just to be seen. This is how it works. How you feel about that?
Well, I just said the same thing. It's upping your profile. It's getting out and about and making people aware that you're around, and that's an. It's got to be the beginning of things. I mean, you're talking like that, and we'll put a little leaflet out and let people know. But you could just as easily put a better leaflet, if you want to call it a leaflet, piece of information to every head teacher in every school. Because the religious education is compulsory. Buddhism is part of it when you're in the junior school. It's part of it when you're doing a GCSE. You can actually offer people, the RE people, the opportunity to actually see Buddhism in action.
Okay, I like the word Buddhism in action. So now there are many many Buddhist philosophy in our society, in English society nowadays. They look at meditation only. They read about basic teaching. Now put it in practice for them. I think maybe good idea to know that what exactly the Buddhist monk doing, and also to be seen or involving with people in the society. How you feel about that?
I think it's right. People do need to see how the Buddhist monk behaves and what they do.
Right.
That's just, that has to be a sort of an introduction. It can't be the main thing, because
No.
you're not communicating any more than a culture, really.
Right.
And it's much. I mean, if you're young and something hits you good, something that helps you, that you're going to look at that much more carefully. I mean, if you try meditation and you're angry and you're upsetting class many times and things like that, and if you try meditation and it works for you, then you're more likely to come back for more of the same thing.
Right.
You can also use meditative practices, clever but quick things, to help you think better.
Okay.
There are lots of things you can do with your mind. I mean, in psychological terms, they're very different terms, but to be honest, they're very similar outputs, very similar processes too. And any monk can do them, because that's what they do. They do meditate, and they know about the inner mind. They know about what goes on inside their own heads. So when you know your own head, you can help people with theirs in reality. Because we're not so different, inside. We're not so different at all.
I appreciate what you say. When from on this Tuesday coming, I am thinking or put it on in my agenda of the other business about this project, because if we can do something like that, I mean, if we bring about to show or introduce the idea of the Buddhism in action, which if we can do, it will be very very good for Buddhist monks to introduce ourselves to school, and
it's not just something that you talk about. Well,
yes.
I'll break this.
Right. I would like to talk to my monks about this project and put it in our agenda and put it in practice. Another word, put it in writing, having our paper, the paper. I mean this paper of uh, the the literature on the
Yeah.
leaflet. So the leaflet that we're looking for is the leaflet of Introduction to Basic Buddhism, about alms giving, about visiting school, meditation, of course, and Buddhist study more, and to be seen by the school and introduce this basic Buddhism in action about the monk life in another
You
country.
did it
Or
years ago, you know.
yes,
I
but
read
because
I
of that,
read
I would like
your
to have more and more. So,
well, it's
are you
your
are
fault.
you
Always
willing?
is your fault. You make me come on this. I read your PhD thesis.
So what do you say? What do you look at it?
Yes, I read it. And in part of it, you're talking about the A level in Buddhism, actually.
Right.
Yeah, you can remember.
Yeah,
Well,
of
you were
course. Yes.
talking about that. You were talking about different parts of GCEs, GCSEs in
Yes.
Buddhism.
Right.
Even then, way back then, when you were what, 20 or 10 or something, you were very young anyway.
Right.
I'm teasing you, Ajahn.
Understand? But I mean,
You
20
see,
years in this country. Yes.
it needs a strong leader to move these things forward. I mean, Jakun, head of the Sangha, chairman, are you, or something like that? You know, it needs a man like that, a monk like that, to push things forward. And you already started it in your own thesis. I'll
Well,
point
at
the
the
pages
time.
out to you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, you said that to me. That it's very interesting because when I was in Birmingham University at that time,
Yeah.
what I look at it, I think because you you have to talk about your background and you understand and your understanding about your life, your way of life,
Yeah.
and then you show or introduce what exactly in your mind to talk about Buddhism, and then see the other people see like I look at you are as a British people, you are the English people person. So when I look at you, I said, why this person interests Buddhism and how that person apply themselves into Buddhist practice. So it what happened in the past when I look at the English or the British in general who are absolutely interested in Buddhism at the time, but now is the time for me to do something in return, especially in going back to English society. At the time, I am in doubt. I'm in the dark because I don't know how to go about it because we have been uh, doing
Well,
this
you
work.
weren't in the dark for the content. What you were in the
No.
dark with was the marketing, the
Yes,
media.
that's right. The
You know, and
action.
it's still difficult now unless you employ someone that really does know about it, or you just keep trying shooting out in the dark. My ideas of going to the schools and trying to offer them some form of help with their GCEs and with their key stage 2, key stage 3. You know,
Yes.
they're only just ideas about how to get there. I never had to advertise or, you know, in any way. I was known through different routes all the time. So although I did a marketing diploma, but that was way back.
Right.
Oh my goodness, that was a long time ago. I did
Well,
it with
but
Stephen. God, let's not think about it.
I would like to
I don't
say.
know enough, in other words. Is what I'm trying to say to you.
Well, I like to put it a little bit, add on what I try to say now. In the past, I don't think yes, I can say I was in the dark and I am lost, or what I was lost, if you like, in our system to be able to teach or to help society in this country. Because we were in our system for many years. I use the word our system. It means I have been in high society, and we more or less very comfortable in a way that we have done from generation to generation. Even nowadays, we are in this country. At the moment, the global work is global. Like we contact each other even more easier. It's easier than before. We can use the language, and especially the time when wherever you are, any part of the world, you no need to speak in that country language if you don't want to, because you can communicate with the people throughout the world anyway, in different. But that is advantage of this, of being in this country and also speak English, is very good for the monks to move forward for Buddhism. That is, I just see, this is very necessary and very important. So I use the word, I went to the wrong way, much better than in the darkness. It was in the darkness. We were in the wrong way of being involved with Buddhism, with the country. Yeah. So that is my uh, my feeling. So now we are, as a WBDO, you are part of it, and it's very important for you to give some suggestion what the WBDO can do for Buddhism as a temple throughout the world, not only England. Being England is the base of this WBO, and then after that we can create the idea or the direction for every temple, say with a pack of introduction of Buddhism. Okay, temple A, temple B, temple 3, temple 4, whatever. We have only one the outline, the introduction, the syllabus of our whatever you use the word, curriculums of Buddhist study for every temple to introduce basic teaching, and then by WBDO. And then maybe this is something for you, for us, or for me to go along to the right direction, if you like, and not went wrong direction as before. What do you think?
I don't mind. I know that I've got a syllabus for the GCSE. I wrote one some years ago.
Right.
I know I've got it somewhere on my office account somewhere. An outline syllabus, which is all you need to start with. You fill it up afterwards. And there's some key stage 2 stuff around, which is just as good here as it would be in America or Australia, New Zealand. But you've got other languages going on, and it's better really to get all the monks together, speaking the mother tongue to start with, Thai to start with, and trying to come to some sort of agreement that we would try to make a standard sort of you just said it, curriculum for teaching and learning Buddhism, and standard ways of entering schools.
Right.
It's easier in other countries, actually. England is a difficult country.
Well, now I come to conclusion. The Panyavajiro, now it's quite late now, 10 o'clock. So I think now I got the idea, and I believe as a WBO founder team, I think when it's set up properly, it could be done in the very soon. So from Tuesday onward, I would like to put this on table for the agenda of what can we as Buddhist monk throughout the world can do something for Buddhism. So this is the idea of ARMS, idea of the Buddhist study, all of this, and of course have to be in local language or the country language that then, and then we will go further. And I believe with your support, we can do much better and for the community.
You could do lots, especially as you said through the WBDO, because the fact is that that's what it was designed to do in the first place, was to bring people, monks from throughout the world together,
Right.
so we could act. We call it in concert, act together to move forward in Buddhism. And we've seen them already helping each other. When they come together to teach, they come together to even chant. You know, they do all sorts of things together now that they didn't do before the WBDO came on the scene.
Right.
So there's slow movement forward, and that's good stuff.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Bhante Panya Vachiro. And I thank you very much, friends in the Dhamma who watching the program today. If you are not watching now, but you may look at the repeat or to look at it again, to revive what had in the history of the record of WVDO or the temple Facebook. This will be very helpful for you to give some feedback, and also thank you very much from Panjavachiro that today our discussion over this kind of the intention to put yourself to be success. So that is very good that you give us your opinion on the history of the achievement between your children. You have support them. Yeah. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you're going to be with us again once a week, maybe wherever you are. And also, this is something that we should be able to do something on behalf of the WBO. If that's all right with you, either one, no need to be every whenever you feel comfortable. It's okay. Yeah, to do same yard like this. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, now I'd like to
You're welcome. Thank you.
who are watching. Thank you very much to be happy and be free from suffering, be free from hatred, from hurtfulness, from trouble, suffering, and mind, and be able to protect your own happiness. Abhivadana silis nitjang uttha pachayino chattaro dhamma vattanti ayu vanno sukhang phalang. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you. See you next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.